What is up, YouTube? Today we're going to be reacting to why GTA 6 can't afford to be bad. So let's jump into the video.
When the industry gave in to greed, Rockstar stood as the last fortress. While microtransactions took over and single-player games were left to die, they delivered Red Dead Redemption 2, a risky, uncompromising masterpiece. Rockstar remains one of the few studios willing to take creative risks and build what others wouldn't even dare to dream. But if GTA 6 fails, it won't just damage Rockstar. It'll send a message to the entire industry that safe, soulless, and greedy games are the future. Because at this point, it's not about money anymore. Rockstar is fighting for their legacy, for their reputation, and for the trust of an entire generation. This is bigger than gaming. It's everything they've built over the last 25 years, and everything they stand to lose in a single bad launch. For millions of us, the games that Rockstar built weren't just entertainment. It was major eras in our lives. Some of these worlds have become so iconic that you could even draw some of it from memory. Red Dead Redemption 2 showed us how powerful Rockstar's storytelling is when they made you care about a horse more than you care about some people. I know this map more than my hometown, and, well, this game is more detailed than my life, are just some of the comments that show how much RDR2 impacted people and how powerful their legacy is. This kind of reputation wasn't built on consistency. It was built on mastery. Every release took years, and yet, every time, they delivered something that shattered expectations. For over 25 years, they've released masterpiece after masterpiece, each with its own cult-like fanbase. Even lesser-known titles like Bully still have a loyal community asking for a sequel to this day. They've built such high expectations for themselves that other studios are scared to even announce a release date for their games. But when a legacy is this powerful, the smallest crack can feel like an earthquake. In 2021, Rockstar did something nobody expected. They released definitive editions of their most beloved classics, GTA 3, Vice City, and San Andreas. What should have been a nostalgic celebration turned into something else entirely. We'll get to that in detail in a bit. But let's just say, it was the first time fans started asking a question that had never crossed their minds before. It got so bad that Rockstar even had to release a handwritten statement to apologize to the fans for how bad it was. No one even remotely expected this kind of quality from a studio like Rockstar. And that's where the problem arises. They've set the standards so high for themselves that anything short of perfection would lead to people calling it a bad game. Because at this point...
Yeah, look, and it's going to get to that point that people want the best of the best, you know. And with Rockstar, they can, every single game, Red Dead 1, 2, you know, GTA 5, 4, San Andreas, all that shit, they've always hit it out of the park. And I think that's why they delayed the game until next year, because they want to make sure that every single piece is going to be excellent. And to me, I think the game's going to hit it out of the park. Of course, you're going to have those bum-ass people that, oh, the game's trash, this and that, Rockstar, you don't know what you're doing. It's like, dude, shut the fuck up and let them do their thing, you know? That's all people do nowadays. They just hop on the computer and write dog shit comments about a game. And it's like, I get it. Some publishers bring a game out, it's not even ready, they throw it out there and it's dog shit. I get it. But if someone actually puts the work, the detail, the art in the game, then why are you going to shit on it? Don't be a little bitch about it.
Rockstar is not competing with other studios anymore. They are competing with their own past. But what makes this different from every other Rockstar release is the weight riding on it.
Yeah, 1.2 billion.
Because this isn't just a game anymore. It's the biggest product in entertainment, beating the likes of even Marvel and DC. Even without a DLC, GTA 5 still sells millions of copies every year. That's the scale GTA 6 is stepping into. But this isn't 2013 anymore. The world's changed, the industry's changed, and so have we. Games today are dissected before they even come out. The early development footage of GTA 6 leaked in 2022 was never meant to be seen, yet people still judged it, called it underwhelming and outdated. That's the kind of scrutiny Rockstar is walking into. And it's not just fans waiting. Take-Two's stocks depend on this game. Shareholders, investors, and even competitors. Everyone's watching. If GTA 6 doesn't meet their expectations, Rockstar will be forced to abandon the single-player mode and double down on GTA Online content to meet their expectations. They've already been doing this with GTA 5 even after the game.
And that's why, RP is very popular, Anything single player, you look at Last of Us, excellent, Uncharted, excellent. It's so hard to come by a really good solo campaign game. All of it's online, microtransactions. So if the theory story mode plays like shit, but then they go to online and online blows up, you can do RP in that, maybe online's going to be their bread and butter in reality. So we'll just have to wait and see what's going to happen, honestly.
Game exceeded all their expectations. So imagine if GTA 6 doesn't meet their expectations. Inside Rockstar, this pressure creates its own atmosphere. The developers know that there's no room for maybe. This is the biggest game in the world. It can't just be good enough anymore. It has to be perfect. It has to be fresh. This isn't just hype anymore. It's a decade of expectations stacked like dynamite, just waiting for a spark. Because when something this big fails, it doesn't just go away. It gets remembered. For all the wrong reasons. And Rockstar knows this better than anyone. In 2021, Rockstar announced something that should have been a dream come true. The definitive edition of GTA 3, Vice City, and San Andreas. But behind the scenes, Rockstar didn't handle it themselves. They handed it off to a small studio called Grove Street Games. A studio best known for porting mobile versions of games was now responsible for remastering 3 of the most iconic games of all time.
That's not
And
good.
instead of rebuilding them with care, they cut corners. You see, Grove Street Games ported the original games from Renderware Engine into Unreal Engine 4 for the mobile port of these games. And when they were tasked with making the definitive edition, they used AI upscaling on decades-old textures and implemented some new lighting effects to make it look more modern. This lazy approach backfired heavily, as the game was filled with bugs and glitches, and Rockstar faced heavy backlash for such a lazy remaster. It honestly just felt like a cheap mod, with a $60 price tag. The trilogy was supposed to honor Rockstar's legacy. Instead, it just put a big hole in it. This is exactly why Rockstar can't afford to mess up GTA 6. And if you're into stories like this, consider subscribing. With recent news that the game is delayed by almost a year, the expectations only keep going up and up.
True.
I better be able to walk in every building, and every single building better have interior.
Jesus.
Shows how much people's expectations have only gone up ever since the announcement.
Oh no.
Ironically, having too much time might be the most dangerous part. Because the more time passes, the more people dream. And dreams don't have limits.
Yep.
It just keeps getting more and more unrealistic as the days go on. And even though Rockstar once had plans like having...
You're not gonna get a real-life simulator. That's just the way it is. If you want to play something real, you have to get a PC and go play RP. There you go. You can be a cop, paramedic, whatever. Could they generate that into the consoles? Maybe, maybe not. Who knows? It could be a lot harder to do. But with all these people dreaming big of having a job, having a family, you're not gonna get that. Online, who knows what online's gonna be? There's so far that console gaming can go, and it's facts. If you have PC, you can do a lot of shit with PC graphics and all this and that. But if these people are reaching for the fucking skies, they should just be blessed for the fucking game to even come out at this point.
More cities and every enterable building, they eventually had to scale back. Not because they didn't care, but because crunch was killing their team. Crunch is already a big problem in itself for Rockstar, because back in 2018, co-founder Dan Houser admitted some devs were working 100-hour weeks during Red Dead Redemption 2.
That's nuts.
That's not sustainable at all. It shows just how much it costs to build something this ambitious. Because behind every delay, every leak, and every unrealistic wishlist, there's a team trying to make history without falling apart. And that's why GTA 6 isn't just a sequel. It's the game the entire industry is watching. Because if it succeeds, it will raise the bar for gaming itself once again. It defines what open-world games can be for the next decade. But if it fails, then the cost isn't just a few bad reviews. It's years of trust lost, years of momentum gone, and it tells every ambitious studio out there that maybe aiming this high just isn't worth it. Every publisher, every developer, every indie studio, they're all watching. Because what happens next could shift how games are made, funded, and believed in.
True.
That's why GTA 6 is more than a game. It's the biggest bet gaming has ever seen, and it's being made right in front of us.
What an excellent video. I like this guy. Like I said, we'll just have to wait and see, in the next coming months, even till next year, unfortunately, when the game comes out. But don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Trying to get to 10 subscribers. But yeah, I'll get another video when I can. You guys take care. Peace.